but it never came through. Norm's putback was short. Zubac's putback was off the backboard. And Anthony Edwards, heroics down the stretch, wins it for the Timberwolves. 108-106. 37 for Edwards, 11 for McDaniels, 15 for DiVincenzo, 18 off the bench for Naz Reid, 22 for Harden, 25 for Norman Powell, a team high, 17 and 16 boards for Ivica Zubac. He leads the NBA. That's his fourth 15-rebound, 15-point contest. Derrick Jones Jr. with 10 off the bench. Well, the Clippers had a slice at it late, a slither of hope, but they fall short. And after leading by 5 with 4 minutes to go, drop one in Minnesota. For Carlo Jimenez, our engineer, Ollie Sandler, our statistician, Eric Bachmeyer. So long from Minnesota. Adam Osland is going to take over when we return. Our final, 108-106. Timberwolves win by 2 as they sweep the Clippers in 2024-25 season. See you in a few on your Clippers Audio Network.
Clippers go cold in Minnesota early in the fourth quarter, and they lose by 2 in heartbreaking fashion in another close loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we got second half highlights, your postgame box score, and Clippers talk. 866-987-2570 if you'd like to get on. But first, we're rejoined by your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez from Target Center. Carlo, this was a game where the Clippers were up by 19 . They battled back after being down 10 in the second half. They had opportunities. They led by 5 late in the ball game. But once again, it slipped through their fingers and into the hands of Anthony Edwards, who knocked down those 3 balls late.
Yeah, huge threes by Edwards in this game, Adam, especially down the stretch. Just one-on-one pull-ups from way downtown with guys smothered all over him. Just impressive stuff from Anthony Edwards. I think for this Clipper team, at the end of the game, they fought extremely hard. They were battling for rebounds. Amir Coffey gave them fantastic minutes today, Adam. He was in the mix for almost every board, but the Clippers just could not hang on down the stretch. You felt like in this game, they got a little ISO heavy, Adam. They had 23 assists after 36 in the last game, which was a season high. Maybe wasn't able to get the rotations going. Minnesota is a good defensive team. They are top 10 in the NBA in defense, so give them a lot of credit. And then the Timberwolves just turning it on late. I mean, they start this game 2 for 13, Adam. They finish this game 14 for 26, if my math is right on that. So almost above 50% from the three-point line. Hit some big threes thanks to Anthony Edwards. And if you're this Clipper team, I think you were spot on with it earlier. Yes, this game got away from you in the final 4 minutes, but you might have lost it when you gave up a 19-point lead, and we saw a 29-point swing from the second quarter to the third quarter. The Clippers, you just got to – if you're up 19, I mean, this is a Timberwolves team that's lost 3 in a row. They're back at home trying to avoid a 4-game losing streak. You feel like you might be able to put them in the dirt. The Clippers did not do that, and unfortunately comes back to bite them here in Minnesota. Always tough to win on the road, especially in this place. The Clippers have now dropped 8 of their last 9 to the Timberwolves, but it just, you feel like this one fell out of their hands tonight in Minnesota.
Yeah, and they gave it away to some degree. When you're up 19 against a team that is this desperate, searching to find the right mojo, to find a little bit of momentum on the season, to salvage their season, with the Minnesota Timberwolves being 500, coming off a loss to the Detroit Pistons, as you mentioned, they could have buried them right then in the first half. They could have defeated this team and broke them. Instead, it gave them new life. Anthony Edwards played like a superstar that he is in the second half with 27 of his 37, including 13 points in the fourth quarter alone. And those back-to-back tough three-pointers over DJ, over Kevin Porter Jr. And this Clippers team not having Kawhi still, because he's on a minutes restriction of, I guess, 21 minutes right now. So he played one more than he played on Saturday. They don't have their superstar late. Minnesota does. They pull through because of him. And the Clippers with miscues and some guys just having off nights. Norman Powell came alive late, which I was encouraged by because he was having a really tough outing. He hit some big buckets, but not enough. And I still feel like this Clippers team, and I know I say this a lot, but when you have Ivica Zubac rolling like that, when he is doing work against Rudy Gobert and the way he was playing defensively, you have to reward him and get him more touches. And that third quarter where they ended up missing 5 straight three-pointers, I didn't like the process. Even when they started hitting some, as James Harden knocked down a couple, then he missed 2 in the third quarter right afterwards. It just felt like they were settling a little bit instead of really going downhill against Minnesota.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Attack the paint, attack the paint, attack the paint. And the Clippers, at one point in this game, were plus 10 on the points in the paint battle, and they finished even with Minnesota, 48 all. Good things happen when the Clippers get inside the painted area, and it felt like they got away from that after that excellent start to the contest. It's a tough one to swallow because you look down the stretch, and the Clippers obviously are going to lean on James Harden. He only has 2 points in that fourth quarter after an excellent third quarter where he kind of brought them back to life with 13 points for this Clipper team to help them get back within a 1-point game at the end of the third period. Ivica Zubac was excellent. He was so good today. 3 offensive rebounds, 16 boards in total. His 4th game at him this season with 15 points, 15 rebounds. That leads the NBA. Big Zoo once again does fantastic work on the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. And for this Clipper team, uncharacteristic slippage in the clutch. They had won 4 in a row in the clutch. They were 5-1 in their last 6 games in the clutch, and they could not get it done here in Minnesota, which has turned into a house of horrors a little bit for this Clipper team, similar to New Orleans for a couple of seasons. The Clippers just for some reason or another cannot get it done in Target Center, and today it was due to the 3-point shooting of Anthony Edwards. Credit him, Adam. He played all but 3.5 minutes in their last game, finishes with 37 minutes tonight, and comes up with 37 points after let's be honest, the Clippers contained him the first 2 times they saw Minnesota. He had a combined 36 points, and he finishes with more than that in one game today. Tough pill to swallow for the Clippers. We know how tight the West is. We know how every single game matters, especially when you're playing a team like Minnesota, who's probably going to be near you in the standings in that Western Conference. The Clippers will look back at this game and hopefully not circle it as something they missed. They can figure this out as Kawhi Leonard, who looked excellent. I think that was a great bright spot for this Clipper team, Adam, today. Kawhi Leonard, 8 points in this one, 2 for 5. He was fantastic for this Clipper team. But it definitely a one you feel like slipped away from you here in Minnesota.
Yeah, sour taste in your mouth with the way they lost. It felt like deja vu, as you said earlier. But Kawhi Leonard, big picture wise, was moving better this game than he was on Saturday, which is the opposite of what happened after he played in game 2 against Dallas. And then in game 3, he looked like a shell of himself. So I am very encouraged overall by just the level of athleticism we saw from Kawhi Leonard in this one.
Yeah, I mean, for him to be able to be aggressive, to get downhill, to knock down a couple of big shots, a couple of assists for him. I thought he was looking for a shot a lot more in this game, trying to be more of a factor on the offensive end, look spry. It was good to see. It was good. I almost started laughing as I was calling it because at one point he did this little turnaround at the free throw line, a little step back, and I was like, that's Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that looks like the Kawhi Leonard we remember that was shooting 40, 50, 90 in the final 50 games last season. I mean, absurd. I think it was 50, 50, 90, if I'm not wrong, Adam, in those last 50 games. I have to double check that one. But Leonard, he looks true to form. He looks true to form. And you know what? The Clippers, that's the most important thing right now. I know you have to win games, but if you want to make a championship run, Kawhi Leonard has to be Kawhi Leonard, and he looked like Kawhi Leonard today.
Clippers will try to bounce back in Denver on Wednesday. Tip-off 6 p.m. Pacific time. We'll have your pregame show starting at 5. Clippers fall in this one late to Minnesota by 2. Final score 108-106 in favor of the Timberwolves. Carlo Jimenez, great call as always. We will talk to you from Denver on Wednesday, my friend.
Talk to you Wednesday, Adam. We get to do another one of these. Let's go!
Coming up next, we'll discuss the second half by the Clippers after they led by as many as 19 and weren't able to hold on. In Minnesota, they lose by 2. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to your postgame show right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers lose a very winnable ball game Led late again in Minnesota, just to lose late in heartbreaking fashion. Your Los Angeles Clippers had their opportunities. They trailed early on in that fourth quarter as they started 0 for 11 from the field in the fourth. Yet somehow, after being down by 10, they lose this game by 2. And at one point, before Anthony Edwards went off late with tough three after tough step back three-pointer, I believe the Clippers were up, yes, 96-91 with 4 minutes left. They get outscored the rest of the way. Let's see, what is that? 17-10. They lose 108-106. Some of the late game execution left a lot to be desired. Some of it was just Anthony Edwards making heroic, tough step back threes that were really well defended. And there's not a lot you can do against that. You could blitz, you can fire, you could try to get the basketball out of his hands, but I like the defense that DJ was playing on him. It just didn't matter. Anthony Edwards had 27 points in the second half, 27 of his 37 in the second half, and 13 points in the fourth quarter. The Clippers had some good performances late by Norman Powell, who had 10 points in the fourth. After starting slow, he led them with 25, but the Clippers ended up shooting just 42% from the field, or Minnesota ended up at 45%. They hit 16 three-pointers, 16 of 39 from distance. I told you coming into this one, key to victory, not letting them knock down threes. They've been good in that area, shooting about 38% from the outside on 40 takes per game. They went 16 of 39. That's 41% from three. The Clippers just 12 of 35. Of course, Kawhi didn't get any minutes in the fourth quarter as he left about 5 minutes into the third quarter as he hit 21 minutes, so one more played than last time out. But the Clippers, you're up 19 in the first half. This is a team that was teetering, that was on the brink. I think of packing it up in the Minnesota Timberwolves with some of the audio that I have heard recently from them, with how damning some of the misplays have been, the energy from this team, losing to the Pistons last game, even when Ant has 53. The Clippers are up 44-25 with 6:44 left in the second quarter. And a lot of this was the starters giving it up. Now, at one point, Minnesota hit 5 of 6 threes in the second. They just really caught fire, but the Clippers offense just wasn't good enough during that stretch. They didn't match them. They didn't score with them. So you're up 19 midway through the second quarter, but you head into the half only up 7. That's the game in a nutshell. And then the third quarter, the Clippers are tied at 57, less than 3 minutes in. So they're getting outscored, and multiple runs were made by Minnesota from the midway point of the second quarter through the rest of the ball game when the Clippers were in complete control up 19. I know 19 teams can come back from that. We know this as Clippers fans in the modern NBA, but you had a chance to put your foot on the throat. I said, start quick. You might be able to break this Minnesota team that was at 500. Now they're 18-17. Clippers lose by 2 in Minnesota, 108-106. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. Final box score coming up next, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers lose in Minnesota. Again, 108 to 106. They have lost 8 of their last 9 games against the Timberwolves. They're always close. They're always a battle. They come down to the last few minutes, even in a game where the Clippers had a 19-point lead. And this time they lose by 2, 108 to 106. Anthony Edwards with 13 of his 37 points in the fourth quarter. And back-to-back tough threes that might have been too difficult to overcome, but the Clippers shouldn't have been in that position. They led by 19 in the first half. They had opportunities. They let Minnesota get new life out there, feel good about themselves. This team, both games in Minnesota, they were looking for a signature type of victory. And both times the Clippers gave it to them. After they beat the Clippers last time in Minnesota, they started playing better defense. They went on a bit of a run. They looked more like the T-Wolves of last year. Then they reverted back to where they were playing early in the season. Over the last couple of weeks, they had lost 3 in a row. They just lost to the Pistons. They needed a big victory. Clippers in town. Clippers had a chance up 19 to bury them, put them away, and couldn't do it because poor offensive execution. Minnesota got hot from 3. I'm going to run the numbers for Clippers talk, but they got scorching hot from 3 after the first quarter. After I want to say they started something like 1 of 13 from the outside because they ended up shooting 16 of 39. So I'm guessing they shot around 50% from 3 the rest of the game. Clippers were led by Norman Powell with 25, 7 of 17 shooting, had 10 of his 25 in the fourth. Norm did come alive late and had some big buckets. There was somebody in here saying, when did he ever show up? He had 10 points in the fourth quarter. He had huge shots for them. Kawhi finished with his 8 points, all 8 coming in that first quarter. 3 of 11 from the field, played 20 minutes and 41 seconds, so about 1 more minute than he played last game, but didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. They are extending his stretches out there. I know some just want him to play 5 minutes every quarter. They want him to try and catch a rhythm and build up more reps with guys while he's out there. They don't want these short spurts where Kawhi can't get comfortable. It makes sense. Ivica Zubac was 7 of 10 from the field, finished with 17 and 16, was dominating Rudy Gobert, who had 8 and 18, but 3 of 8 from the field, and could do nothing against Ivica Zubac. And there's a stretch in the third quarter where Big Zoo is out there, he looks good, and they just completely go away from him. 5 straight missed threes by the Clippers in the third. They started to get down then. I think that was a huge turning point aside from what happened in that second quarter, up 19 to being up just 7 at the half. But Ivica Zubac's getting up 10 shots when he's hitting free throws where he went 3 of 3. He's punishing Gobert. It's just, I know it's cold in Minnesota, but you can't be freezing out Big Zoo like this. He needs more than 10 shots when he's playing that well. Please. James Harden, 22 points, 8 of 22 shooting. Wasn't his most efficient game out there. 8 assists, 4 turnovers. Some good, some bad. I thought Derrick Jones Jr. had some really good moments for them. He had 10 points, got out in transition. Kevin Porter Jr., mixed bag again. 7 points, but some costly mistakes late in the fourth quarter. He still had 7 assists to 2 turnovers, but that turnover where he was leaving his feet, I think he was looking for Norm in the far side corner. After the Clippers just got a steal. After Carlo and I were just talking about whoever wins the turnover battle late could win this one. That was huge. He got blocked on a rearview contest on a 3. That was bad. And then gave up a 3 on the other end to Dante DiVincenzo. There were some down moments for sure. But Ant had 37 and 13 of them came in the fourth quarter. And they were just crucial shot after crucial shot. And Minnesota was looking for a big victory, to the point where they started a new starting lineup with Dante DiVincenzo in place of Mike Conley coming off the bench for the first time as a Minnesota Timberwolves. They win 108 to 106 over your Los Angeles Clippers. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until Wednesday. We'll have your pregame show starting at 5. Clippers in Denver. They don't get much easier. Denver Nuggets are playing much better basketball. They're taking on the Nuggets. Tip off at 6. Outside of LA, again, we're leaving you until then in LA. It is Clippers Talk next. Well, Anthony Edwards was cold with it in Minnesota late, knocking down big threes, and the Clippers would lose by 2 in Minnesota. Final score 108 to 106. Welcome into Clippers Talk. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Whether you're listening on AM 570 LA Sports or at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side, appreciate you guys. And while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
This is LA Clippers basketball. AM 570 KLAC Los Angeles, 98.7 KYSR HD2 Los Angeles, and iHeartRadio.
Going to break this down at a molecular level, granular level, let's say. This was frustrating. The Clippers led by 19 in the second quarter against Minnesota. Minnesota is gasping for air. They're trying to prove they're still the same team of last season without Cat, and they came into this game 17-17. They haven't been them. The last 10 games, they've been 25th defensively. Last season, they were the best defense by a mile. They just lost a game to Detroit, where Ant had 53, his career high. Tonight, he finished with 37. And the Clippers could have broke them. They could have slayed the Dragon, a team that had beaten them 7 out of 8 times, and now 8 out of 9, because the Clippers are up 44-25 with 6:44 left in the second quarter. The backups with Big Zoo were doing work. Derrick Jones Jr. hit a 3 after he was 2 for his last 23. They're up 42-23. And then Ivica Zubac puts them up 44-25 with a floater at the 6:44 mark of the second quarter. No game in today's NBA is over that early. Up 20, up 19, doesn't matter. But it's not like Minnesota responded right away. They missed a 3. Then Naz Reid started to turn the game with a block on Amir Coffey and then a made 3. It's 44-28. That's all right. Steady the ship, Clippers. Norman Powell gets to the free throw line and goes 1 of 2. It's 45-28. Now, here comes a Clipper killer. Mike Conley first misses a three-pointer, then makes one. Clippers up 14. Then a floater. Clippers up 12. Norman Powell hits a huge 3, I thought at the time, to again steady the ship. 48-33. Mike Conley, another 3. 12-point game. James Harden, a 3. Okay, they're good, right? They're fine. They're up 51-38. You're going to go in to the half with a double-digit lead, right? Nope. Jaden McDaniels, who hit some really key shots and a three-pointer late under 2 minutes over KPJ, hits one at the 2:11 mark of the second quarter. 10-point game. Anthony Edwards, 3. It's a 7-point game with 1:30 left. Rudy Gobert bucket. It's a 5-point game with 58 seconds left in the second. Norman Powell gets to the free throw line, hits 2, great. The Clippers at the half are up 53-46 when they easily could have been up 15. Didn't even have to be 19. Be up 15. Don't give back momentum right then, because sometimes it carries over. Sometimes you give a team life. They feel good about themselves in the locker room, and they come out and you get ambushed in the third quarter as well, where Minnesota won it 31-23. And the Clippers completely went away from Ivica Zubac. Again. Nowadays, everybody want to talk, but they got nothing to say because nothing comes out when they move the lips. Just a bunch of gibberish. And they forgot about Zoo. They forgot about Zoo. Third quarter. Zoo gets a beautiful left-handed hook shot over Gobert after looking off the defense, freezing them so they don't come over to double because he might kick it out. And I thought, there it is. Here we go. They're going to get it to Big Zoo. They're going to get him going. Please get him going. It's 55-46. He was looking nice against Rudy Gobert. And with an and one on a weak foul on Ivica Zubac. Yes, there were some tough calls in this one. Ball looked to be out of bounds in the fourth quarter off Gobert. Could have been a flagrant on Gobert, throwing an elbow at Big Zoo when he got frustrated because Big Zoo blocked him twice. Multiple plays went against the Clippers. That was one right there. Zoo didn't like the call. And one, Anthony Edwards. Then Zoo, a big two-handed throwdown on Julius Randle off a great James Harden bounce pass to him. Elite, as they came and trapped him with Rudy Gobert, and somehow he got it around him. Ant bucket, Dante 3. Clippers are only up 2. Now Kawhi misses a 3. They tied the game. It's 57-all. Dunn comes out of the timeout and misses a 3. These three-pointers here. Mini 3, 60-57 Minnesota, third quarter. Dunn misses another 3. Dante hits a 3. They're up by 6. Norm misses a 3. Mini misses. Kawhi misses a reverse where he had 0 lift after an offensive rebound. He leaves the game. That's the end for him, and that ended around the 8-minute mark of the third quarter. Let me give you the exact time. He missed that at the 7:28 mark. He goes out. He played 21 minutes in this one, so he played one more than he did last game. But Kawhi Leonard gets subbed out. What point is it? Why does my game log say it? Say it! He goes out midway through the third. Let's call it that. Shall we? Since Espen can't update this thing. I'm not frustrated. You're frustrated. Floater Gobert. Clippers are down 65-57. Kawhi's out of the game. Turnover Powell. Ant board. 21-2 Minnesota run. And it's 67-57. Going back to the end of the second quarter into the third quarter, there is a 21-2 run. The Clippers missed 5 straight threes before Kawhi missed that reverse layup with no lift. And Zoo wasn't touching the basketball in the third. And you go from being up early, Zubac's getting a couple early buckets in the third quarter, to I'm fine with the 3-ball game, but Big Zoo was dominating, and those threes were not falling. It's not like Zoo's off the court. I don't understand that. Typically, they feature him early in the third. They started to. Then they went away from Zoo. At the 10:32 mark, he has that dunk. I don't know if he touches the basketball from the 10:32 mark. Let me see how many threes. Kawhi misses a 3. Chris Dunn misses a 3. Chris Dunn misses another 3. Norm misses a 3. Kawhi misses a 3. There's 5 straight missed three-pointers. And Zoo doesn't get a shot up during this time. So about 3 minutes there, he had just scored. He's dominating. He's playing with force. He's playing with aggression. What more do you want him to do? And instead, the Clippers are out there settling. So, first they blow the 19-point lead. Then they blow, I think, the game plan to get Zoo more involved to start the third. And they end up, instead of being up double digits, being down by the end of the third quarter. They did have it to a 1-point game thanks to St. Nico Batum with a 3-pointer. And the Clippers going small. Mo Bamba did not play in this game. And the backups doing some damage there. But again, you're in control. Just like in the second quarter. Early third, they're in control still. But the shot selection was poor. And then to start the fourth, you're down by 1 and you miss your first 11 shots. That's just so brutal. In some ways, it's a miracle the Clippers still had a chance to win this game late. Norm missed a 3 to start the fourth quarter. Then a layup. Amir, offensive rebound. Amir after a DJ, like they missed so many good looks. And you go to miss your first 11 shots of the quarter, and the Clippers got down, I want to say it was by 10 early in the fourth. It was 89-80 after a Mike Conley layup, of course, Clipper killer. At one point, there was a 29-point turnaround, up 19 to down 10. So I'm not sure where this ESPN game log or what it is doing tonight, but it's not giving me some accurate readings here because I know Carlo was accurate. So that's a little bit frustrating. On top of the Clippers losing this game, on top of them being up by 5 with 4 minutes left. So again, in control, the Clippers mounted a comeback after being down 10 in the fourth quarter. KPJ hit a 3 off a great feed from Derrick Jones Jr. Zubats had a huge block on Dante DiVincenzo. DJ layup. It's a 4-point game. Clippers cut into that 10-point lead. Naz Reid answers. Zoo floater over Gobert. A lob is broken up and DJ gets it. Norm 3, it's a 1-point game off an extra pass from James Harden in the near side corner. DJ then locks up Ant on a tough baseline fadeaway on the far side. James Harden misses a free throw line jumper on the other end. Clippers get a stop. KPJ floater. Clippers up 92-91. For everybody that's just trying to scapegoat Kevin Porter Jr., because there is some of that going on. That's not what I'm doing here. Because there was a mixed sequences by him in the fourth quarter. Some good, some bad. You got the full KPJ experience in the fourth quarter. But the Clippers are up 1 at 92-91, and Gobert gets blocked by Zoo twice and lets out a frustration foul. Could have been a flagrant. They didn't review it. Clippers wanted them to. Zoo hit both free throws, so now the Clippers are up by 3. Harden has a beautiful steal on Naz Reid and a 70-foot pass up to DJ, who gets fouled. He hits both. They're up 5. There's 4 minutes left. But the very next play, another weak touch foul. I'm not saying the Clippers lost this game because of the officials, but there were some bad calls where Ant got an and 1. So now it's a 2-point game. It was called on Ivica Zubats, I believe. Then Harden misses a 3-pointer, and it looked like the ball went off of Gobert and his knee. The Clippers sideline, they were asking for it. Courtside, they were begging for that call. No review. Gobert has a turnover, Norm with a steal, but then KPJ gives it right back after he was leaving his feet. I think he was looking for Norm in the far side corner, but don't leave your feet. Don't make a jump pass. It was a brutal play. Ant 3 on DJ. Then a Harden floater after Zoo lost it. Clippers get a stop. Harden step back 3. No. McDaniels and that 3 in the far side corner was a huge bucket. That happened at the 149 mark. Clippers were up by 1. They go down by 2. Norman Powell ties it up after a timeout. And it gives them the lead after the and 1 on the little scoop layup. I was happy for Norm to figure it out after, I think he started the fourth quarter. What was he shooting? He was 3 of 7 to start the fourth. And he probably missed his first 3 or 4 shots of the fourth quarter because the Clippers missed 11 straight. But I thought, Clippers are going to dig this one out of the dirt, as Brian Team would say. They're up 1. Ant step back over DJ. 103-101. Clippers down 2. Zubats gets a miss. They actually got on the basketball after a long time without it. Ant step back over KPJ. Clippers down 5. That was pretty much the game. The Clippers had a chance late because of some bad fouls and late game execution by the Minnesota Timberwolves, where KPJ missed that free throw, I think intentionally, and Zoo and Powell both had putback opportunities to tie the ball game, but they couldn't get it. And the Clippers lose again in frustrating fashion to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're looking for Coach Lou audio. I know a lot of people are frustrated that KPJ was in late in that ball game and there was a 3-guard lineup. I get some of the reasoning there. They wanted another ball handler on the floor. I believe it was him, Norm, and Chris Dunn out there. With whom? Norm, Chris Dunn, DJ. No. Chris Dunn was in for DJ late with Harden and Zoo. Could they have gone to Man? Could they have gone to Amir Coffey, who I thought had some really big plays in this one? Yeah, they could have. I think the fact that KPJ hit that 3-pointer and had that bucket to put him up by 1, that restored Coach Lou's faith in him to play him what looked to be, was it the entire fourth quarter for Kevin Porter Jr.? But he did have some costly mistakes. I don't feel secure with him in the basketball late in the ball game. I don't. He's too loose with it. He has a good handle some of the time. Other times, I mean, he had turnover in the first half that I was scratching my head about where he just lost the basketball, just dancing with it. But that turnover he had, that I'm not saying it was the backbreaker, but the Clippers had just gotten the basketball back. And I'm not putting this on KPJ, but I know a lot of people are making it a central point of the conversation tonight. And yeah, some bad shot selection. That 3-pointer that he was blocked on. I think it was it DiVincenzo? DiVincenzo ended up hitting a 3-pointer on the other side afterwards, and that was KPJ's man, I believe, on that possession. And he was also guarding McDaniels on the far side corner on that 3. I need another look at that one. Yeah, he was blocked by Nah, then the Dante 3. Clippers down 82-78. Some good, some bad. It's been like that with him. I thought Amir just had some really good moments in this ball game. I could have seen playing him down the stretch. But if you want another ball handler and Kawhi's not available because he's on minutes restriction, I guess that's where Coach Lou is going. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll try to hear from Coach Lou post game. Clippers lose a heartbreaker. I'm not going to resort to analysis of losses happen. Let's move forward and let's go Kawhi. I'm sorry, Adam R. We're actually going to dissect the game. Should I do that with wins too? Wins happen. Let's move forward and go Kawhi. Like, how about we try to learn from this? How about we try to figure out what was working, what wasn't, and not be lazy about it? I'm Adam Moslin, and this is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers losing Minnesota by 2. Out executed late. Again, I'm at a Moslin. 108, 106 was your final. And I get it, but I think people are putting too much of this loss at the plate or at the feet of Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, I saw afterwards people saying it's the Russell Westbrook experience all over again. I told you guys that like a month ago. I think there are real comparisons between him and Russ and just the roller coaster of never knowing what you're getting, possession to possession. And when you have to have poise under noise, I tend not to trust those guys late in ball games. And that turnover was huge by him. It's not the reason they lost the game. You know, they're up 19 in the second quarter. They take 5 straight threes with Ivica Zubac playing that well in the third quarter. And they're up 5 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They had all the opportunities to win this ball game, and they didn't pull through. Mike in LA. Mike, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Adam. I'm curious. So you think, what do you think about James Harden's minutes? I mean, it just seems to me that he's getting run into the ground. I mean, he's getting run into the ground long term.
Well, he played 37 tonight. The problem is they just don't have a lot of options. People talking about KPJ and how up and down and how poor it's been at times. It's like, well, you want to play him more? I'm trying to see on the season. So we started off playing 36 minutes in October. That's only 5 games. Then he was playing 34 minutes per game in November, 33 minutes per game in December. And he's played 29 minutes and 37 minutes in 2 games so far in January of 2025. But I think the issue is, like, when Kawhi gets up to speed and is playing more minutes, that's going to alleviate a lot and help out James Harden tremendously. And guys, I do want to make this point one more time. And Mike, I'll let you keep going here. But the best thing to take out of tonight's loss, the silver lining is, I thought Kawhi Leonard was moving better in this game than he was on Saturday, which is the exact opposite of what we saw in that playoff series where the first game back, you know, he looked okay in game 2. He looked rusty, but his movement, it's whatever. And then it swelled up and he looked miserable out there movement-wise in game 3 against Dallas. But tonight I felt like he actually was moving with a little bit more freedom. Would you say that's accurate, Mike?
I would say that. I also wanted to say, I think tonight, if I'm not mistaken, I think Zoo went 100% from the line. Wasn't on, it was 3 for 3. It wasn't on that many, but, you know, got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I appreciate the phone call, Mike. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back. I'll talk more about Kawhi Leonard because big picture-wise, there's a lot of positives. Like having Kawhi Leonard back, when we talk about what this team can do long-term, it's all dependent and hinging on Kawhi Leonard's right knee and if he's able to get back to playing the way he was last season. I saw some good things tonight that have given me even more hope and are even more encouraging in that respect. I'm Adam Moslin. Clippers lose 108-106 in Minnesota to the Timberwolves. I know. It's tough on Clipper Nation. They were up by 19. You're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Yeah, cold Minnesota. Cold for the Clippers as they went 0 for 11 from the field to start the fourth quarter. And I still don't even think that's the main reason they lost this game. Up 19 in the second quarter, only up 7 going into the half. And then after the cold start in the third quarter, where they stopped playing through Ivica Zubats completely, at one point, I think there was a 21-2 run by the Minnesota Timberwolves. There was just a lot in this game. In fact, I might have to do a Clippers talk after dark because it was that type of game. Now, I do want to talk about what I mentioned about Kawhi Leonard. So early on, I thought he was really aggressive in the first quarter. He missed a midi on Randall at the 10-minute mark of the first after bringing the ball up, which he did multiple times on a beautiful step back. Like his movement, it was a classic, perfect Kawhi mid-range shot, except it didn't go in. But the movement was there. And I loved seeing it because I don't think he attempted one last time out. Then he missed a push shot on the right baseline. Couldn't get it to go, no foul. He had a nice pass to Dunn for a floater in the first. And then a Kawhi 3 off a two-man game with Ivica Zubats, his first make, a three-pointer, again, shot it over Ant. Then he brought it up, missed a fall away over Dante DiVincenzo. Then a Kawhi put back off a miss from James Harden in transition. Kawhi missed a 3 after that. McDaniels hit a 3 on Kawhi where he got turned around on the left wing, and it was just a really rare instance where you could see the rust on Kawhi defensively there. He did only take, I think, one shot in the second quarter after taking 7 in the first quarter. And then he took a couple of threes and missed a layup where he didn't have much lift in the third quarter. He couldn't get those shots to go. But overall, Kawhi, 3 of 11, 2 of 5 from distance, knocked down a couple of three-pointers, 8 points in 21 minutes. He played one more minute than he did last time out. Again, I don't know what you're expecting. If you think Kawhi's going out there and gunning for 20 or 30 points in his 20-minute restriction right now, I would advise you to check out how slowly they brought him along and how he was waiting to catch his rhythm last time when he came back off the ACL in the fall of 2022. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Clippers lose 108-106 in Minnesota to the Timberwolves. I'm Adam Osland, and this is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers lose 108-106 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Quickly, Jose in Downey, you're on Clipper Stock.
Hey, Adam, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, disappointing loss. I had to go on a run after to get it all out myself. But I agree, man. Why they went away from Zoo and scoring from the inside in that second quarter when they were settling for outside shots, some 3-pointers while the Timberwolves were making their run. I mean, that's the time to calm it down and beat them where you've been making your money so far.
I agree with you, Jose. Quickly, even more quickly. Harold in North Hollywood. Harold, what's up?
Yeah, how you doing?
How we doing, Harold? Long time.
Good.
Quickly, Harold, I got to get out.
Oh, I can't get on the air tonight?
You are literally on the air right now.
Oh, for Christ. No, oh, God. You know what? I'm not going to.
Harold, I'll
gonna,
talk to you on Wednesday, my friend. Clippers lose by 2 in Minnesota. They're tipping off at 6 p.m. in Denver on Wednesday against the Nuggets. We'll have your pregame show back here at 5. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez, Big Brother Jake Warner, Daniel West. You got a quick update for me on the standings, by the way? I don't mean to.
No, you're good. They're still 7th. Still 7th.
Yeah, the night is young. Maybe somebody loses and helps bump them up. Clippers, Denver, Wednesday. Pregame right back here at 5. I'm Adam Oslin. We'll talk to you then. Thanks, Daniel.